Motion of a charged particle in an uniform external electric field. We can discuss about properties of charged particle when it enters into uniform external magnetic field. Consider a region where electric field acts along x-axis and a charged particle enters along x-axis. Then electric force on the charged particle vector F E equals Q into vector E. But by using second law of Newton, vector F E equals M into vector A. After comparing equation number 1 and 2, Ma equals Q into E or A equals QE divided by M. Since Q and M both are scalar quantities, direction of acceleration is in the direction of external electric field. Thus, a charged particle moving in an electric field, it accelerates in the direction of electric field. So, its velocity, momentum and kinetic energy changes, but its direction of velocity and hence the direction of motion is same. Thus, it moves faster the direction of external electric field without getting deflected. Motion of a charged particle in uniform electric and magnetic field. We can discuss about the force acting on a charged particle when it is moving perpendicular to the direction of electric and magnetic fields which are already perpendicular to each other. Consider a region where electric field acts along y-axis and magnetic field acts along z-axis as shown in the figure. Now, a charged particle is entering into this region along x-axis such that E, B, V are mutually perpendicular to each other. The expression of electric force that we have studied in first chapter is vector F E equals Q into vector E. Since electric field is directing along y-axis, vector E can be replaced by E into j cap. That is, vector F E equals QE into j cap. So, we can conclude that the magnitude of electric force, that is QE, and it acts along y-axis since its unit vector is j cap. The expression of magnetic force, that is Lorentz magnetic force, is vector Fb equals Q into vector V cross vector B. Since velocity of charged particle is along x-axis, vector V is replaced by Vi cap. And since magnetic field is directing along z-axis, vector B can be replaced by B into k cap. Magnetic force is Q into Vi cap cross B k cap. Take magnitude of velocity V and that of magnetic field B out of the bracket. Then vector Fb equals QVB inside the bracket I cap cross k cap. But I cap cross k cap equals minus j cap as we studied in 11th. So, vector Fb equals QVB into minus J cap. Bring the negative sign front side. So vector FB equals minus QVB J cap. Hence, we can conclude that the magnitude of magnetic force is QVB and it acts along minus y-axis since its unit vector is minus j cap. Then the total force on this charged particle is the sum of above two forces. So vector F total equals vector Fe plus vector Fb. After placing the expressions of electric as well as magnetic force, vector F total equals QE J cap minus QVB J cap. Take the common terms outside. Then vector F total equals Q into E minus VB into J cap. Means both electric and magnetic forces acts on the particle. Electric force vector F E equals QE into J cap. So electric force acts along y-axis and magnetic force vector FB equals QVB into minus J cap. So magnetic force acts along minus y-axis. Hence, the directions of electric and magnetic forces are opposite. If the magnitudes of these two forces are equal, then QE equals QVB or V equals E divided by B. Means if the velocity of the charged particle is equal to the ratio of electric to magnetic field, then electric and magnetic forces acts on the charged particle are equal and opposite, and hence charged particle continues the straight line path. Velocity selected. Consider a region where electric field acts along y-axis and magnetic field acts along z-axis as shown in the figure. Now, a beam of charged particles having different speeds are moving into this region along x-axis. Thus, as we discussed in the previous case, electric force acts along y-axis and magnetic force acts along minus y-axis. Then velocity of those charged particles is equal to the ratio of electric to magnetic field. Then the electric and magnetic forces acting on that charged particles are equal and opposite. So, according to Newton's first law of motion, these charged particles continue the straight line motion. While for other charged particles, since its velocity is not equal to the ratio of electric to magnetic field, the electric and magnetic forces acting on that charged particles are not equal even though they are opposite. So, charged particles cannot continue straight line path, means they deflect from their position. So, this arrangement can be used to select charged particles of a particular velocity out of a beam in which the charges are moving with different speeds. This selection of charged particles with the same speed from a beam of charged particles is known as velocity selector. We can discuss about the force acting on a charged particle when it is moving parallel to the direction of electric and magnetic field which are already parallel to each other. Consider a region where electric and magnetic field acts along x-axis as shown in the figure. Now, a charged particle is entering into this region along x-axis such that E, V, B are parallel to each other. Now, electric force vector Fe equals Q into vector E. Similarly, magnetic force vector Fb equals Q into vector V cross vector B. Since E, V and B all are along x-axis, vector Fe equals Q into E into I cap. Similarly, vector Fb equals Q into Vi cap cross Bi cap. Since I cross I equals 0, vector Fb equals 0. So, only electric force can act on the charged particle. Means, total force is only the electric force. But from Newton's second law of motion, vector F total equals m into vector A. Since m is a scalar quantity, acceleration is in the direction of total force, that is along x-axis. So vector A can be replaced by A into I cap. Comparing above two equations, we will get ma equals q into E. After rearrangement, A equals q into E divided by m. Thus, charged particle moving in an electric field accelerates in the direction of electric field, that is, changes its velocity, momentum and kinetic energy, but its direction of velocity and hence the direction of motion is same. Thus, it moves faster in the direction of external electric field without getting deflected. Motion of the charged particle in an uniform magnetic field. Consider coordinates x, y, and z as shown in the figure. Let I cap, j cap, and k cap are the corresponding unit vectors. Similarly, minus I cap, minus j cap, and minus k cap are the unit vectors corresponding to minus x, minus y, and minus z axis. Here, out of the plane, that is plus z axis, is represented by dot, while into the plane, that is minus z axis, is represented by cross. Consider an uniform magnetic field which is acting perpendicular to the plane of the surface. Thus, it is shown by cross. Consider a charged particle Q enters into this magnetic field with velocity v as shown in the figure. Thus, magnetic force acting on the charged particle is vector Fb equals q into vector v cross vector b. Since velocity acts along the positive x direction, vector v can be replaced by v into I cap. Similarly, since the magnetic field acts into the plane of the paper, vector b can be replaced by b into minus k cap. After taking minus sign and the magnitude v and b outside the bracket, so the expression of force is minus qvb into I cross k. But I cross k is minus j, which is qvb into j cap. Since the force unit vector is j cap, it is clear that this force acts into the y-axis, means upwards here. Due to this upward force, the charged particle deflected towards upwards and reaches here. Now we can check what is the magnetic force here. That is vector Fb equals q into vector v cross vector b. Since velocity acts along in the upward direction, means y-axis, vector v can be replaced by v into j cap. Already as we told, since magnetic field acts into the plane of the paper, vector b can be replaced by b into minus k cap. So the expression of the force is q into vj cap cross b into minus k cap. After taking minus and magnitudes outside, force is minus qvb into j cap cross k cap. But j cross k is I. So the force is minus qvb into I cap, which is qvb into minus I cap. So the unit vector of the force is minus j cap. So it is clear that force acts into the minus x direction, means towards the left side. So the charged particle deflecting towards the left side due to this force and reaches here. Now we can check what is the magnetic force at this point. It is vector Fb equals q into vector v cross vector b. Since velocity acts in the minus x axis, vector v can be replaced by v into minus I cap. So the expression of the force is q into v into minus I cap cross b into minus k cap. After cancelling the minus sign and taking the magnitudes out, the expression of the force becomes qvb into I cross k. But I cross k is minus j. So the expression of the force becomes qvb into minus j cap. Since the unit vector of the force is minus j cap, it is clear that a force acts in the minus y-axis, means in the downward direction. Due to this downward direction of the force, the charged particle is deflecting towards downwards and reaching here. Again we can check what is the magnetic force at this point, which is vector Fb equals q into vector v cross vector b. Since now velocity acts in the downward direction, vector v can be replaced by v into minus j cap. So the expression of the force becomes q into v into minus j cap cross b into minus k cap. After cancelling the minus signs and by taking the magnitudes out, the expression of the force becomes QVB into J cross K. Since J cross K is I, the expression of the force becomes QVB into I cap. Since the unit vector is along the positive x direction, it is clear that force acts in the plus x direction means it is towards the right side. Due to this force, charge particle reaches at the initial point and continue this circular motion such that the axis of the rotation of the plane will be the magnetic field. Thus, if a charged particle enters to an external magnetic field such that its velocity is perpendicular to the external magnetic field, then the magnetic force acts as the centripetal force and hence charged particle undergoes circular motion in a plane which is perpendicular to the external magnetic field. The magnetic force is always perpendicular to the velocity of the particle as shown in the previous diagram. The angle between them is always 90 degree. Now we can check what is the work done on the charged particle by the external magnetic field when the charged particle is moving through it. We know work done W equals force into displacement. Here, the work done by the magnetic force we are considering, that's why Fb dot displacement S. But we know displacement is velocity into time. Also, replace dot by cos theta. So, work done is Fb Vt cos theta. The angle between force and velocity is 90. The expression of work is F Vt cos 90, which is 0. Magnetic field is not doing any work on the charged particle which is passing through this magnetic field. So, magnitude of velocity of the charged particle is same. Hence, its kinetic energy and its momentum is also same. And linear acceleration of a charged particle is 0. Since the charged particle undergoes circular motion, direction of velocity changes. Hence, the charged particle experiences centripetal acceleration. Since direction of velocity changes, direction of motion of the particle also changes. We can find some expressions related to the circular motion of the charged particle. Since magnetic force is providing the necessary centripetal force for the rotational motion, Fc equals Fb. Here Fc is centripetal force and Fb is magnetic force. But the expression of centripetal force is mv square by r and expression of magnetic force is qvb. Then we will get mv square by r equals qvb. After cancellation and arrangement, we will get r equals mv divided by bq. This is the expression for radius of the circular paths. After rearrangement, we will get again V equals BQR divided by M. But we know velocity equal to distance by time. For one circular path, distance is 2 pi r and corresponding time is time period. So V equals 2 pi r divided by t. After comparing the expressions of velocity, the equation is BQR divided by M equals 2 pi R divided by T. Now the expression of time period is 2 pi M divided by BQ, but frequency is 1 by time period, so nu equals BQ divided by 2 pi M. 2 pi is constant, M mass of the charge particle is constant, Q charge of the charge particle is constant, B since charge particle is coming to uniform means constant magnetic field, the time period and frequency both are constant means it not depends on radius as well as velocity of the charge particle. We know the expression of velocity is v equals bqr divided by m. Since the mass of the charge particle m is constant, charge of the particle q is constant, and since charge particle is coming to the uniform means constant magnetic field, b is constant, we can write v proportional to r. When you rearrange the equation of velocity, expression is mv equals bqr. Since b and q both are constant, we can write mv means momentum is proportional to radius r. If a charged particle enters parallel to the magnetic field, then the angle between the velocity of the charged particle and external magnetic field is 0. So, magnetic force F equals QVB sine 0. So, F equals 0. Thus, a charged particle which enters parallel to the external uniform magnetic field travels in straight line path with a constant speed in the direction of magnetic field. Now, consider a charged particle projected at an angle theta to the uniform magnetic field. In this case, we need to resolve the velocity into two components. One component parallel to the magnetic field Vp and the other component perpendicular to the magnetic field Vn. Since Vp is parallel to the direction of magnetic field, we have Vp equals V cos theta. As Vn is perpendicular to the direction of magnetic field, we can Vn equals V sin theta. The component of velocity Vp along the magnetic field will be same because the angle between the parallel component of velocity and magnetic field is 0. So, there is no force acting along the direction of magnetic field. The charge particle moves along the direction of magnetic field only due to the parallel component of velocity Vp. At the same time, due to the normal component of velocity Vn, the charge particle moves in the circular path. Thus, charge particle has velocity in the direction of magnetic field and also in the circular path. So, the resultant path of the charge particle is a helix and axis of the helix is the magnetic field. Since normal component of velocity produces the circular path, radius of the path or radius of helix r equals mvn divided by bq, but vn is v sin theta. Thus r equals mv sin theta divided by bq. The time period of revolution of the charge particle T equals 2 pi m divided by bq. The distance moved by the charge particle along the magnetic field during one rotation or revolution in the helix is called pitch. Pitch P is the product of parallel component of velocity and the time taken for one complete revolution, which is time period of revolution. Since Vp equals V cos theta, P equals V cos theta into T. After substituting the expression of T, which P equals 2 pi m V cos theta divided by Vq.